everybody, it's Haley. I'm here today with Liberty Bird Soaps, making another soap. Today's soap is, I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet, but I think this is a manly scent. At least I've asked my husband. And so this is Driftwood Island. It's by Aztec International. It's a candle and soap making company. These are 1 ounce samples, and the really nice thing about Aztec is they have a coupon that they offer where you can get 5 1 ounce samples for $5. So with shipping it comes to about 13 bucks to get 5 little samples. So this is the one I'm trying today. So in here are my oils. They are olive oil, coconut oil, sunflower oil, Crisco, and avocado oil. So that is what is in here today. Step 1 is going to be to add my lye water solution. Ooh, I'm going to put my stick blender in. Now as you can see, my stick blender looks like it's about 100 years old, and I bet it is. I bought it for $1.25 off of eBay. So, if you want to send me a new stick blender, that would be really, really nice. Alrighty, so there is that. That's in a pretty thick trace at the moment, which is completely fine because I want this to be thick now, so that way it will hold the little soap balls I'm going to be putting in there. So I'm actually going to put in my fragrance oil, which is right here. This is, as I said earlier, the Driftwood Island from Aztec. So with this I am going to be adding colorants to part of this. So I think I'm going to pulse it just a little bit more just to get it a little bit thicker. But then I'm going to basically get it as thick as I want when I start adding all of my color. We are all cleaned up there. So I was just looking at my fragrance oil. So the description online for this fragrance oil is a mixture of spicy, citrusy, and green top notes, complemented by floral middle notes of lavender and jasmine, with long-lasting woody, musky, and mossy blossom notes. I have to say, I do not find this one to be at all florally, so I'm surprised that it says that. It has the middle notes of floral, but maybe hints of it. I definitely get the woody and the musky from it. But what I'm going to do now with this is I'm going to bring over my little cups, which are going to be my 2 accent colors. And my accent colors today are going to be Sugar and Spice Mica by Nurture Soap. I used this one in my last soap, but I had mixed it with another mica to create a custom blend. This time I'm not mixing it. And then I'm using the camouflage mica. A little earthy tone there. So that's the camouflage mica. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the soap into these bins and then, or into the cups, and then I'm going to add the mica. I did not check to see if there was any vanilla in this fragrance oil, and I didn't add any vanilla stabilizer, so we will definitely see what happens, because this one here is going to be uncolored, and I'm just going to be working with my 2 little ones, so I'm just going to set that one aside. So in the Nurture kit that I got in terms of when I bought my micas, it actually came with this very cute teaspoon set, which I've gotten all oil now. But this has the tablespoon end, which is here, and it also has a teaspoon end, which is here. So I'm going to actually use this to add my micas. So this is going to be less than 4 ounces in here, so I'm just going to, this actually doesn't fit in there. So this I thought was really handy until I realized it didn't fit into the containers. So this is going to be my green. I can always add more if I need. And then this is going to be my orangey brown color. It's probably like a red, but I think it's going to be a little darker than that. Alright, so I'm going to start with this one. Take a peek in there. So this soap has definitely thickened up, which is completely alright. This kind of looks like a brick. It's like a brick red. At least that's what color it looks like in my red cup. You'll probably see the red cups in a few more videos, but then I realize I am actually out of red cups. So I'm going to buy different ones next time, probably clear cups. The green. So the green is beautiful actually, but I think I want it to be a little bit darker, so I'm going to actually add, or a little bit more vibrant. I also have to remember that greens turn this weird brownish color when you make them, and then as they cure, they go back to the green. So I think I might actually leave that the way that it is. So there are my two accent colors, and now I'm going to bring in my mold. Alright, so for this soap I'm using my 1 pound mold that my husband made for me. And what I'm going to be doing with this soap is I'm going to be doing a drop swirl, and then about halfway through that drop swirl I'm going to be adding a layer of soap balls to that. So these are some scrap soaps that I had that I rolled into balls. I am going to squirt them with some rubbing alcohol. This will help them stick to the soap as I'm doing this. So, first layer, I'm going to start here with the one that I have the most of, which is obviously this uncolored soap. Just putting about half of that in there. Even that out, and then I'm going to start with my swirl. So I'm going to use my green first, and I'm going to try and pour this not in a blob, but a little fine line out of here. So very slowly, but pretty high up so that it breaks the surface there. And then I'm going to try my red brown color. I'm going to do pretty high on this one to see if I can break that green up. So for this one I'm not going to be swirling it at all. I'm just going to leave it like that. And then I'm going to take my soap ball. So I think here I'm going to have enough to fill the whole thing and get some of the balls in each of the bars. As you can see, my soap balls have settled in there. I'm going to go back to my unscented, or not unscented, uncolored soap, and I just realized I made a whole pound of soap, but I didn't factor in those soap balls, so I'll probably have a little bit of extra soap here that I will put into a different mold. Take my little swirl in here. So I don't want to disturb the little balls that are in there, so I'm not going terribly deep, but I do want to try and swirl the green and the pink it's turning out to be at the moment with the regular soap color that should be on the bottom. Maybe if I grab my spoon and try and bring up some of that clear soap. So I'm thinking with my extra soap, I'm going to try to make kind of a wave on top. Seeing how I have it, why not give it a try? I'm actually going to let the other two set up a little bit more and let this base here, or this start that I've got, get a little bit harder as well, and that will help me as I texture the top of this. Alrighty, so this has hardened up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the rest of the soap to kind of this, oops, well that was not in the center, but to the center as much as possible. And then we'll do some texturing. Thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and pull up on the sides to kind of give it a little bit less of a blob feeling and more of like a cohesive mound, I would say. Want some of that red, pink. I wanted it to be a brown, but that's not what I'm getting at the moment. It's definitely a pink. Slash brown slash whatever color it's going to end up. I was going to add more, but it's all gone. It's hiding under there. So I'll be very interested to see if we have a red inside of this mound, because not much of the red came out on the top. So let me see if I can tap it down anymore. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. I have to say that I got some of the red out of it though, right? Now the more I play with this, the more this is just going to turn into a blah. So I'm going to just have to call it at some point. And it'll be right after I do these. There you have it. I'll bring you guys in for a look. And then we will come back and you will see me cutting it. Welcome back to Liberty Bird Soap. Ah, yes. So this one has been curing for about 2 weeks. It is Driftwood Island. So what I'm going to do, which I haven't done surprisingly, is mark off the top here. So I use a regular ruler to measure these. These are going to be 1-inch bars. I did cut off the end of each of these already, so they will make roughly 5 bars. For some reason, this recipe that I had used, I don't know if it was the way that the temps were or what, but it definitely took a very long time for it to set up. And sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad. I did have a soap that ended up being awful that did that, and then I had a soap which, if you've tried the Chardonnay line, one of my very first soaps, I'll have to see which one it was, but that one, I don't know, I set it aside and it seemed like it was there for a good 2 weeks before I was able to even hold it without it all getting all smothery. So I've marked off the 1 inches here, and I am just going to cut here with my knife. I hand cut everything, and I'm not the best at it, so my bars are always have their own little personality when it comes to what size they end up being. So follow my lines roughly here. Now on top, the green kind of got muddied, but I believe the green on the inside of this is going to have a nice, ooh, that is beautiful. Look at this. So fun. So it's the drop swirl here. Let's see if I can get it to focus for you guys. So it has the drop swirl. This was the swirl that I put on top, or the extra I put on top after the second layer. It's funny that I got this very defined layer here because I feel like I tried to mix it in. And these were the little soap balls that I put in. Now those are a soap that I made a while ago. actually not a while ago. They were actually the top of the coffee and cream soap. So they were the original whipped cream that I had put on top, which I ended up having to, well, some of them fell off, and I just didn't like the way that it looked, so I chopped them off and rolled them into soap balls. So look at how amazing this is. So let me see if I can cut this and give you guys kind of a front row view. Ooh! I thought all the balls I used were going to be light, but that is a very dark ball right there. So there's this bar. So this scent, I would say, is manly. I don't find it very florally. I know that the description said that it had floral undertones, but I just find it, I don't know, it reminds me of like a men's deodorant. It's hard to put my name on what it exactly smells like, but it definitely has like a generic soap smell also. That's what I just smelled. So one of these obviously was a very dark one, and one has some orange in it. So I'll probably end up with 4 good bars, and then 1 sample. Now, one of the exciting things is all the soaps that I'm currently making are going to be available at the craft fair I am going to be at on December 1st. I might actually be doing one earlier than that, but the one that I've signed up for at this point is on December 1st. So if you like them and you're local, then you can come on by. So this will probably be a sample. This is one side of it. This is the other. Look at the show Kennedy. So I'm going to bring you in for a close-up.